What is the most common exercise that can lead to low back problems? Hello everyone, I am Dr. Anuj Bhide. I am a brain and spine surgeon practicing at Synapse Spine in Mumbai. As we know, most youngsters nowadays are enthusiastic, or I would say over enthusiastic, regarding gym training and weight training, and most of these students who join the gym at an early age without proper training may land up with some spine pathologies which can lead to slowing or complete cessation of their further gym training or their careers. So I would like to highlight one such exercise which is one of the most common exercises which leads to back problems presented to us in our spine clinics, which is the deadlift. So what 6 things should you be very cautious about when you do a deadlift? First and foremost, you need to know that the deadlift is not an absolute essential exercise if you're not going to be a professional bodybuilder or a weightlifter. If you're just a gym enthusiast or you're someone who's looking to be fit or have a lean, good physique, then the deadlift is not an absolute essential, and ego lifting is an absolute no for these kind of gym enthusiasts. The second important point that you need to know is that the core strength about the spine, which involves muscles at the back of your spine, the front of your spine and the abdomen, all need to be in proper tone before you start doing a deadlift regularly. How do we ensure that the tone of the core is proper? Is when you do various isometric exercises for your back, for your abs and for the legs, so that the core around your spine becomes very strong. The third important thing that most people do wrong is they keep the weight slightly away from the body. What that does is that it eliminates the thrust of your hip totally, and the lifting of the weight comes totally on your lower back. That's why the back strain increases when you do this maneuver in that position. The fourth important thing that most people do wrong is that they extend themselves totally when they go up in the maneuver. So when you totally extend or hyperextend yourself, you're putting excess load on the joints of your spine, which is not required in this case. Going to a neutral position at the top is satisfactory for this particular exercise. The fifth important thing that people do wrong is that they don't bend their knees or they don't bend their hips enough. Now remember, the deadlift is not just a pull exercise. It is a push as well as a pull exercise. So the pushing happens from your hip joint. So you need to know that the pushing maneuver happens at the hip and the pulling maneuver happens at your back. So when these both movements happen in tandem, that is when the back doesn't get strained unduly. And the sixth important factor that people do wrong during the deadlift is that they don't engage their lats. Now, most people think that the deadlift is an exercise involving your lower back, your glutes and your hamstrings. But engaging your lats is very important even during a deadlift. Now how do we engage our lats is like we do a lateral pull down. So that is when our back achieves that arch where it doesn't get rounded when we bend forward. So engaging the lats is very important when we do a deadlift. I would like to here mention a bonus point for you guys, that most problems that arise during a deadlift arise because of ego lifting. So you need to know that you need to go slow. The process of a deadlift is not one where you can right away go with the maximum that you can lift, because not just lifting the weight properly is the most important thing when you do this particular exercise. Since this exercise involves the whole of our lower back, and this is not some exercise which involves the peripheral muscles where if there is a muscle spasm in your bicep, you may take a break for 5 days. But if there is a muscle spasm in your back, you cannot function, you cannot walk, sit or do any of your activities for the next week. So performing this exercise properly is very important. So the deadlift is an exercise and it is not a stunt to be performed in the gym.